first started my life with Cadbury, and I was largely at the plants. It was a very technical operations kind of a role. I even was an operations lead for the Eclair that you see. Understood the machine, understood the people, the technology. Then I moved on to product design. After product design, it was overall category management, where other facets joined up, like regulatory, product management, packaging, and the other facets of supply chain. So this lasted for about first 19 years. As the company expanded, I did regional and then certain global roles. The next move was to General Mills. I joined there as an R&D head. They wanted at that time to set up a technical vertical. It was a big team to manage. The platforms were new. The platforms were in healthy snacks, food services, mixes, and it was exclusively looking at UAE, the Emirati, the Gulf countries, because that was a big market for some of the brands that they own, like Betty Crocker and Nature Valley. Again, after 2.5 years, I got this opportunity with Tata's, and Tata's is an iconic brand. Being a technical leader, I was able to get a business head role. At that point in time, Tata Chemicals was planning to come up with nutritional solutions. They wanted to enter the B2C market, and that's how Tata NX happened. We had two products. One was a natural sweetener, and the other one is a protein intervention. It's a dry beverage mix. So that was the reason I moved from General Mills to Tata Chemicals. This was my journey, and I joined Tata Chemicals in 2017, and then and some of these, creating the strategy, creating the products from zero, making a business happen, exploring retail channels, putting the product online. So the industry is really evolving, and somewhere the boundaries between food and pharma are also dissolving. Pharma earlier was only drugs and food was only food. And people were, it was more an indulgence phase. So packaged foods, if I may speak of, was more in terms of indulging your taste bud. It was more about convenience. It was more about enjoying that kind of, chocolate or a wafer or something like that. But given those days of early years in my industry, what I've seen is consciously the consumer and the industry and also the government of India is evolving to make it healthier and healthier. So with this, there is a new segment like nutraceuticals which has come up. Till 2016, we never had a regulation also on nutraceuticals, but because this is one space that's growing, and you have a lot of new companies coming in this place like Herbalife, Dabur, Marico's, so many other interventions that both food and pharma companies see this as one of the new growth segments. And also from a consumer perspective, it's good because the products are scientifically designed and based on some really interesting ingredients, maybe from the Indian diaspora. The other thing I see is evolution of specialty chemicals. So for foods, to make say friable snack, if you need a snack which should have low oil in it, you need some scientific intervention in terms of ingredient or technology. So you have snacks which are like 30% lower on fat, but there is some kind of an ingredient or technology to make that happen, and that's one space which is called specialty chemicals that's also been growing. It's a very encouraging sign that people are migrating to tier 2 cities, and there are new cities which are really coming up as smart cities, and with that changing, there are some things that are also changing. For example, I remember, and this trend started about a couple of years ago, I remember one of the closest example was CDM Shots. So if you see CDM Shots at that point in time was a rural hardy chocolate. So while it's the same brand, but it's a variant that can have shelf stability and the supply chain bandwidth to reach slightly, unpenetrated towns. So this is at a product innovation level, I would say. You want to have a very friendly ice cream. Now, when you have it covered with chocolate and other fruits and nuts, it's not only healthy and nutritious, but it also makes it quite shelf hardy to reach and penetrate these kind of towns. So this was one at the product innovation level. On the supply chain per se, I see a lot of intervention in these small cities. Like, I know for a fact that Nagpur is a very big hub for a lot of food products because it's central to India and it can reach tier 2 and tier 3 towns. So it's a supply chain innovation, or even packaging for that matter. Packaging, you would see, is far more while it delivers to you on aesthetics, it is also very, very robust to take care of these kind of nuances in the supply chain. And industry is a very large industry and value chain in India today. So when you want to reach diverse regions, somewhere as far as Ladakh to Chennai, you need to have those kind of interventions, and there the food industry has definitely shaped it. Emergence of modern trade in these tier towns. So whether it be a Jaipur, whether it be an Alwar, you will have these kind of modern trade shopping versus kiranas. So that itself also gives you different spaces from the food perspective to play. Because in one zone, just like we have a big bazaar in Mumbai, you would have these small modern trades in these tier 2 towns where you have a plethora of offerings which were not choices that there were earlier. Newer innovations in businesses are coming up. There are so many people in these tier 2 towns who have either taken a distributorship or some kind of a small business to make these brands possible. So penetration of these brands has also happened because it's both ways. The brands have also innovated, but the way the brands needed to sell and customize for those markets, that has also changed. There are two trends which I have picked up consciously. One is this emerging responsible consumer. So now I think we all have learned our lessons and we are very responsible about what we put in our mouth. We are conscious now. And it's a very good trend and a shift because people consciously see and read a food label. Trends like immunity, stress management, weight management, fitness. We've learned so many lessons in these periods of pandemic. Rise of females as the decision makers. A female, she's a mother, daughter, sister, and she can really influence the household. Even pandemic times when people were really locked down, she would have, I'm sure I'm a woman, she would have made those choices to keep the family healthy and in good spirits. So, trends like home cooking, trends like returning back to basics and hence ancient grains like ragi, bajra, kodo, kuttis. There are so many. There are about 25 to 30 different types of millets, and again very regional specifics. These are making a comeback. There is this entire trend of kitchen basics. So kitchen herbs. How does a lemongrass help you? How does a tulsi help you? How are some such variants can you really relook at? So this pandemic gave all of us a time to pause and reflect how some of these ingredients can be leveraged in home cooking. Closest substitute to such kind of a natural intervention would be a processed packaged food. So you have so many things. I think there is Jiva Ayurvedic, there is Green Pharmacy, who's actually kind of making those tulsi powders, aloe vera powders, pumpkin seeds, all those things. Consciously people are trying to look at these and given that digitally we are so connected, people read up on this and try to incorporate in their diets. So this is one another trend which is coming up. Vitamins like C, D, some elements like zinc have a definitive role in immunity. As a space, you see a lot of activity there. The Indian government has also been very vocal. There is a Ministry of Ayush that has actually, taken steps to socially communicate that these are some interventions like hot water, ginger, Ayush pot, tulsi, turmeric. These are kind of things that you should incorporate in a diet. We are all humans, but we are very unique and special humans, and we are customized. So everything about a specific nutrition or a trend is also a customized nutrition. So what works for you may not work for me, and this is something that is evolving, and the industry is also trying to see how this can be addressed through a basket of portfolio and play. So these are some of the trends that I see actively in the industry today. Focus on 80-20. 20% of your resources, time and effort should help you to deliver 80% of your output. This is first learning that I realized, because you have to accomplish so much. The other thing I would say is take each day as it comes. Enjoy and really cherish the journey. Because every day is a new day. It teaches you so many new things. And in this stint of mine with Cadbury's, like I mentioned, I was working with the Bhumi Putras, the sons of the soil. The blue collar workers taught me how important is collaboration and how important it is to have social circles. Somewhere, those social circles which we really miss out on as we are quite metro bred and the kind of lives we live. These are some of the social networks that really help one individually grow, perform far better in real life. As a woman leader, my understanding and what has helped me and worked for me is, like I shared in my professional learnings, always try and step out of your comfort zone. Push the envelope harder. But having set goals is not the end of the story. You have to look at each team player, see their unique skills, strengths, weaknesses, and then try as a line manager to support them in those areas. So, the kind of team performance would be to make your strengths stronger and move your weaknesses to the strength point. So mentors in life work, and sometimes the mentor should not even know that he's a mentor in your life, but he should be a person you can share something with and get a fresh perspective. Re-mentoring, I would say, is more like being open to feedback. Be open to feedback. Try and talk to your teams in a non-threatening manner. Understand where you are going wrong as a person. As a line manager, you don't have all the answers. Be vulnerable and be open to admit this, and take those learnings in, because you always course correct. As humans, we learn new lessons at each moment in our life. The other thing as a message that I would like to give to young women colleagues is, be kind to yourselves. You're going to be doing multiple roles as a woman, and they're going to be in multiple stages. You'll be married, you may have kids, you may have older in-laws and parents to look after, but you want to manage all life facets of your life. And when doing so, try and cherish the journey.